defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection, and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Oh, hey folks, dude here. Coming to you again, a version of Dude After Dark. I truly wish to apologize for the previous weeks of not being able to do the show. And of course, a whole bunch of no, sound guy. No, it wasn't caca, okay? It was more just a case of no, I had other things going on, sound guy. Other in the process of other thing, obviously, I was doing other stuff, which comprised me having to do a whole bunch of other things, which means I was doing other stuff. So in the process of doing other stuff, I am now finally back yet again. And I'm going to try to cheat this, running this thing off of the tablet there, and see if we can't make things happen and, good stuff like that there. I have been putting a veritable S-ton, read like, scads of stuff in behind the scenes so I can keep track of it. On this month of, how have I been describing it? Hang on a second here. Let me find my appropriate verbiage that I've been applying thusly, considering that this is quote unquote Pride Month. Pride goeth before the fall. And I got very New York on that one. Pride goeth before the fall. I found myself pretty much looking at things and seeing as how I've been doing it. I found it very just snarky for them to say, we're going to choose a group of people who choose to pick the same sex, which to have them as their relationship base. And that'll be absolutely everything that you now have to respect, give credence to, all the, XYZ, PDQ, ampersand, dog mess. So literally I've been saying on Facebook is for this entire month of June, which will be the month of advanced deviancy for those who go forth with hubris. Here's yet another reflect my stance on things. And I'm down to day number 13 doing this. I can tell you for a fact, I can just pull this one out of the ethers. And if you want to piss off former service personnel and you want to say stupid stuff without really saying it, but actually intimating it, place the American flag on the same level as somebody else's cause celeb. You will do nothing short of pissing them off in no fell swoop, and it'll make them unbelievably feisty. Looking in the room, we got Patriot Fever checking in. Patriot Fever reporting with Little Patriots 3 and 4. 4 is out, but mortar pills are loaded with sarcasm rounds and ready in all respects. Okay, good. Dog is now taking his resting place on the chair. Down. Yes. One of those kind of, verbal hand command things. I actually have the dog hand trained. Mostly. A couple times he'll kind of go, yeah, well, that's nice. And it's like, no, dude, I really mean for you to do X, Y, Z. So I'll have to back up the hand command with a verbal command. And he'll go, oh, okay, you really do mean it. Yes, I really, truly do mean it. So looking at things as it is, I do actually have, obviously all my stack of stuff. And hopefully it'll work okay off the tablet, working off the tablet. Sometimes is a mixed bag. I might have to jump back and forth between that and the home computer. And we'll move out smartly and good stuff like that there. Hopefully everything works out and things just don't become sound guy. No, we're reserving caca for those who shall remain unnamed. Oh, no, sound, no. Oh, jeez, you had to pull Kamala out. Ugh, Kamala. Ugh.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
Oh, okay, so, yeah, sorry. So anyway, Kamala and also President Joe Kaka.
You dick! What?
From what I understand, both of them are now looking at, like, impeachment stuff has been filed. So it remains to be seen whether it actually has any traction or if the rhinos don't do anything to it. But filing the paperwork is half the battle.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
What the heck does sound of silent? No. They're not being silent, okay? No, I don't care how you explained it. No, that doesn't make any sense, okay? Don't. Sound guy's going off the rails again, folks. Why? Because he does. Patriot Fever. Sound guy have any fake booby flopping for what happened on the South Lawn? Oh yeah, I heard about that. Some transmission activist. Yeah, transmission activist. Decided he was going to yeah, I don't know about twang, but I think he actually lifted up the shirt and decided he was gonna, pull out man boobies. Dude, that does not play well on prime time. I do not care what you say. Yes, SWAT. That does not play well. Whipping out the tatas and
You dick!
Yeah, you got a
Dick!
Yeah, exactly. You're still carrying.
Dick!
Right. So you shouldn't have girl parts if you're carrying.
Dick!
Right. So now that we've expressed the fact that you still maintain and have on your person
Dick!
You should not be pulling out tatas, as it were. Oh, you're supposedly intimating tatas by putting on a sonar ping? No, it does. No, there's no good reference to a sonar ping intimating boobs. Okay, you're gonna have to work on that one. All right. No, that one just does not fly. No. The twang doesn't do it either. No, you're gonna have to come up with something much better because that is really just
You rooster vacuum.
Oh, yeah, he might be a rooster vacuum because he still has well, he's still walking around with
Dick.
Yeah, so he might be a rooster vacuum fan. Dude flashed his fakeness. Well, technically, men can walk around topless, even if they do have fake ones. Women can't walk around topless in some places, even if they are like not the best ones. So I tend to think if this guy identifies as a female and he's pulling out a set of boing, I got to come up with something better. That's gonna be one of those hard sound effects. It's like, how do you intimate that you're basically pulling out a set of fake fake ones? You basically pulling out a set of fake ones. Back to the Future Twinkle. Oh, wait a minute. I got it. I got this one, sound guy. He decided that he was going to show off. Yeah, man boobies. There you go. So anyway, yes, I did hear about that. So like I was expressing, if he identifies as a female and he's pulling out a set of man boobies and they shouldn't be out in public, he's obviously showing off. Okay, I don't know about all of that sound guy, okay? He's pulling out.
The name's James.
Yeah, he's pulling out James Quack.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, all right. Anyway, we now find ourselves with obviously more interludes of these guys going, I'm going to be completely out there and you have to take me as I am because I am just, I'm out there.
You sick little monkey.
Yeah, I would definitely say sick little monkey. But anyway. Here, let me help you put him back in, buddy.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Ow! Oh, tucked him back in. Oh yeah, Patriot Fever. I dare him to do that with Clinton nearby, because the next thing you hear is, "Hey, that's a nice looking set of hooters you got there. Why don't we go out back and I check them out for you? I'm actually a licensed booby doctor." Yeah, and then next thing you know, the guy's going to be like, "Wait a minute, I just got felt up by the ex-president." And then he decided he was going to show me something. Ew. Yeah, I think possibly they're going to find each other looking at each other going, "Hey, that's your
Dick.
Why don't you
Dick.
No. Put that thing back where it
Dick.
came from. Yeah, put that thing back where it came from. So help me, so help me.
Dick.
Put that
Dick.
where it came from, so help me. Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to cut that one up. Put that thing back where it came from, or put that
Dick.
where it came from, so help me, so help me. Ugh. Yeah, that's the next sound effect you hear is them going behind the curtains and yeah, it just yeah. Oh, thank you so much for your contributions. Wow. Oh wow. Patriot Fever hit him where they lives. In fairness, his monkey, call that what it will, his monkey, yeah, his monkey is probably, well, his monkey.
Dick.
His monkey.
Dick.
His monkey. Yeah, okay. His monkey is probably this is not sound guy. This is Patriot Fever. In fairness, his monkey is probably sick and little after the hormones. Yeah, I'm sure his
Dick.
has probably not doing so good and may have had a bad case of, oh, I just got extra treatment. Yeah, I think his monkey is kind of yeah. His monkey went full Pac-Man. The dude Clinton and Obama's in the Lincoln suite with the way. Oh no! Ugh. All right, so let me get into the ethers, as it were. But yeah, I literally have gone pretty much very stridently stating, this whole trans thing, the cross-dressing, the wokeness, Budweiser getting their asses handed to them. I mean, it literally, truly is not popular. I mean, Rasmussen even has a story. Most Americans oppose transgender agenda. By 3-1 margins, Americans believe there's only 2 genders. It's not rocket science when the general public is not into your stuff. Oi, 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 oi. Excuse me one second here. Still warm off the caffeination device. Got to do that. This one I find ridiculous. Bloody damn ridiculous. This whole thing about, McCarthy is like standing there with, the sword of Damocles over his head. Matt Gaetz has already said, if you don't do the blah, 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 we're going to basically find you in contempt and boot you out and all the rest of this happy horse stuff. I tend to think that this whole debt deal and the budget and everything really was total crap. It was not a good deal to begin with. And literally what they should have done is the Republicans should have said, look, we're going to keep showing up in the White House. This is the deal. If you don't accept it, We're going to keep coming here every single day saying this is the deal until such time that we default, and it is on you because we were here. We already had a budget. Everything was all drawn up, and you guys are playing games. So, yeah. Jumping back to the whole trans whatever you wish to call it, Walmart, in their infinite wisdom, has decided to offer Pride merchandise despite the controversies. Now, the thing that kind of sucks for me is I usually go to Walmart as a one-stop shopping. Truthfully, the coffee I'm currently drinking is Walmart. But by and large, I can go to other stores. The only downside is there's some stuff I like going there and getting like all in one fell swoop and being done with it. But this one coming in from truthpress.com, Walmart is continuing to provide XYZ PDQ ampersand products, and I refuse to address them using their terms and phrases as part of Hubris Month. The firm said on Wednesday amid consumer backlash against multiple brands aligning with such ideologies. Quote, "We haven't changed anything in our assortment," Latrice Watkins, Walmart's chief merchandising officer, said on May 31, according to Reuters. Watkins' statement comes following a backlash against Target after the retailer launched some XYZ PDQ ampersand items, including some targeted at kids. Why? Because they're a bunch of kid groomers. Quote, in late May, Target announced removing some of the controversial items, insisting that there were quote-unquote threats, gaslighting, lying a-holes facing the company's team members. But things are different at Walmart, Watkins said. Quote, "When we think about security, we have not done anything in particular differently related to security in our stores," he added, end quote. Yeah, because you guys are a freaking joke. Guys grab stuff and they walk out the blanking door. I really want to curse there. Walmart's been offering Pride products at thousands of its stores across the United States. The company has released t-shirts with slogans like, this is Walmart, mind you. Walmart, quote, "Gay AF," if you can't figure out what that one is, that's gay as foxtrot. Quote, "Woke up gay again," end quote, and quote, "Some people are gay," end quote. The retailer has also announced onesies for infants with slogans like, quote, "I love my two moms," end quote, and quote, "Proud love." As part of its quote, "Pride and Joy collection," end quote, Walmart is offering XYZ PDQ friendly trinkets and accessories like pins, flags, tote bags, and more. I'm surprised they're not offering sex toys. A controversial product being offered by Walmart is a quote-unquote breathable chest binder aimed at, quote, "trans, lesbian, and tomboys." Okay, the last time I saw a lesbian going, you know what? I really got to squish my boobs because I like other girls. I don't think I've really seen that too much. Usually they just dress like a guy and you go, okay, between the haircut, the attitude, and the general fact that they're smooching on another chick, I can tell that's probably a lesbian. Chest binders used by girls to mush their breasts in order to create a masculine appearance. They don't tell you the part about what kind of physical damage it actually does to the people by smushing their tatas. Quote, "We back hashtag Target to a quarter for selling hashtag Pride merch in the children's sections. Now we go after hashtag Walmart. These woke companies need to know enough is enough. Not one more expletive day. They're not getting our kids," end quote, journalist Breck Worsham said in a May 24 tweet. Walmart's XYZ PDQ diversity push. Walmart has an, quote, inclusive sourcing, end quote, program for XYZ PDQ groups. Walmart Supplier Inclusion Initiative offers companies owned and operated by members of XYZ PDQ and other entities like ethnic and racial minorities. Okay, last time I looked, you choosing to prong the same sex as you is not an ethnic or racial minority. You're not even a minority. You're making a choice. You weren't born going, my genetic code makes me have XYZ versus this guy. If you're going to be what you're going to be, you are what you are. You're choosing to be something else if you're doing it with somebody of the same sex. That is a choice. Excuse me 1 second here. I didn't wake up this morning going, gee, you know what? Them girl parts, just not so attractive anymore. I really want to stare at another guy's hog. That is a choice. Who you choose to do is a choice. Quote, for our U.S. businesses, we sourced more than $13.3 billion in goods and services from approximately 2,600 diverse suppliers. In 2021, Walmart donated $500,000 to PFLAG, the largest organization in the United States that advocates for XYZ PDQ and their families. Well, people tend to think that's a heck of a lot of money. But if you think about it, how much money does Walmart make per year? $500,000 is me walking up to the homeless guy and going, here's a buck. At best. At best. So PFLAG was recently in the news after President Tristan Coleman threatened to declassify York Catholic District School Board, or the YCDSB, as, quote, unsafe for the XYZ PDQ community in April. The threat came after the board held a meeting that included a delegation of parents who are against the YCDSB flying a pride flag. Okay, if I choose not to further your cause by hanging a flag in there versus the American flag, that is not racist, that is not homophobic, that is merely me stating your cause is not just and worthy to place in my place of schooling. Calling the meeting, quote-unquote, deeply disturbing, Coleman called the parent delegation who stood against the pride flag as, quote, discriminatory and bigoted while criticizing the board for allowing them. ESG principles make companies look beyond marketing demand and profits and focus on taking action related to issues like climate change, racism, and sexual identity, among others. It is adapted by firms mainly to appease large investors like BlackRock that use these metrics to evaluate whether to invest or not. Okay. First and foremost, BlackRock needs to be audited. It needs to be investigated. They need to have themselves drug into the freaking courtroom, kicking and screaming, or drug into Congress, a la what they did to Zuckerschmuck when he sat there going, this is really not fun sitting on a booster seat, answering all these questions and airing all my bad laundry. ESG needs to be outlawed. I vote we make that a daily discussion point and make them own the debt ceiling. Well, true that, man. True that. He's going back to that whole, debt ceiling thing. Biscuit, you're getting on my nerves. Pedro Rivera, how does one effectively boycott Walmart? Well, it's very simple. You use local mom and pop stores and you use other chains that don't do this pride crap. That's how you do it. You simply just don't shop at Walmart. I guarantee you, if everybody said, okay, fine, here's how we're going to do business from here on in. You ignore Target. You switch over to Walmart. Walmart gets snarky and, oh, yeah, you have to do what we do because we're doing it because you're not going to Target. Okay, you stop going to Walmart, you go over to Target. And if everybody starts doing this whole switch and play thing where one guy blows up for a minute, then the next guy crashes, then the next guy blows up, and the other guy crashes, if we keep doing that, eventually they're going to figure out they're being screwed with. Pedro Rivera, some small towns have no mom and pops left. Well, that's true too. I mean, Walmart's definitely crashed and burned a lot of mom and pop places, which was their inclination in the first place. Yeah, that's the thing, too, is also corporate elites and the financial firms of BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard altogether control more than $20 trillion worth of investments, are imposing their will on the manager companies they're invested in. Well, I can say for a fact, BlackRock was not happy when Ron DeSantis said, guess what? Florida is not investing in you guys any longer. And they lost $1.5 billion easily just from that one stroke of a pen. Now, if enough places actually do that, and there's some actually really interesting news stories about Ron DeSantis. I got more on that later. Stand by on that one. But yeah, this whole thing about these companies sucking it up and doing stuff, and it's bad, Juju. It's just bad juju. Speaking of sucking it up and doing bad juju, oh, my stars and garters. Man, you want to talk about somebody that's really, really, really doing seriously not so great? Yeah, we're going to be talking about Anheuser-Busch InBev. Yeah. Yeah, they really have just
You asshole.
yeah, they are not happy campers. So Anheuser-Busch InBev market value plunges further, a staggering $27 billion drop, or about 1/10 of their value. Let's see. The company had a 134.55 billion value of March 31 before it plunged to 107.44 by the end of May. March, April, May. Two months took down almost $30 billion. The company's stock plummeted 19.98% from its high in March. That's a 20% drop, enters the zone of a bear market. The Bud Light sale revenues have dropped 25.7% for the week ending May 20 compared to the same week as 2022. Well, it gets even worse than that, folks. The thing about it is the shares have dropped, and they've underperformed EU beer peers by 50% since the end of March. And then the other thing, too, is also they're losing shelf space. Modelo Negro, Coors, and Yuengling are taking up that lion's share that Bud Light had. Now, the thing about it is these three beers that are now taking the shelf space, it's going into the summertime where more people are pounding more beer because, oh, yeah, they're drinking beer outside and they're thirsty. Hey, so the thing about it is these guys now getting hammered, losing their shelf space. Once you lose the shelf space, trying to get it back is not easy because these other beers are selling like crazy. They need more room. Well, if Bud Light is selling only 5 or 7 cases a day and everybody else is selling 50 to 70, guess what? They're going to put more of the other stuff in there rather than the Bud Light. I love this one. And Anson Ferrix, former president of sales and distribution for Anheuser-Busch, intimated the trouble lay ahead for the company, telling the Daily Wire he foresaw a long, hot, dry summer for Anheuser-Busch. Quote, I think you're going to see sales continue to be down because customers, it's too easy for them to switch to brands, and they're seeing the impact of the results, he continued. If they want those customers back, they have an easy decision that they can make, which is saying we want Bud Light customers back. Therefore, Bud Light's not going to get involved in political issues moving forward. If not, they're probably going to be worse positioned next year, and the sales will continue to decline. Let's see. Scrolly. So these guys really did it at the worst possible time. Speaking of somebody that did something at the worst possible time, this one coming in from Breitbart, and I cannot do this one justice. I think I just got to show the picture to the camera. Why? Because he's one of those special people that really, truly doesn't think things through and does stuff in a stupid way. And I'm going to get to the story in a second here, but you just got to see the picture of this guy. Yeah, so this friggin' guy, I cannot do this justice, folks. Like I said, this one's coming in from Breitbart, but oh, my stars and garters, this one is absolutely epic. If you guys ever played Nintendo back in the day, you knew that there was a game called Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt was actually basically just, you had like a little light pistol that you would aim at the screen and you would hope to shoot the ducks as they popped out. And if you got them, the duck would be picked up by the dog, and the dog would go, you got one or you got two? And it'd be like, hey, you got these, congratulations. Or if it got none, the dog would pop up and just start laughing at you like, you missed. Yeah. Anyway, so this guy, using the phrase usually, 25-year-old David Joseph D'Alessandro was arrested with a spray-painted Nintendo Duck Hunt gun, which he allegedly used to hold up a York County, South Carolina Quick Stop. Folks, I cannot do this justice, man. This is absolutely, essentially, probably one of the silliest things I've heard recently. So he allegedly robbed the store at 5:45 p.m. WLOS reported. It's not clear whether he brandished the gun or simply kept it visible in his waistband. The York County, South Carolina Sheriff's Office released a picture of the gun. Again, folks, I cannot do this justice. He basically spray painted the duck hunt gun. So it was originally orange and white, and now it's black. Well, if you look at a duck hunt gun, there is no trigger guard, and obviously there's no magazine, and obviously it's not quite the same thing as what you said it was going to be. So anyway, the guy basically did the deed. He was apprehended by police in the Dollar General parking lot just down the street from the Quick Stop. Deputies noted the duck hunt gun was still in D'Alessandro's pants when they arrested him. But yeah, I think dude might be saving up for his future operations of dealing with that pesky little device that he's just got to get rid of, because you never know when you have to get rid of that spare, annoying little
dick.
Yeah. I think that's probably what's going on here is he's going to be taking care of his
dick.
Yeah. Switch gears over here a little bit. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not. This guy is a complete and total badass. Yes, Mrs. Dude.
I'm trying to watch TV. Lower.
Yeah, I have to keep my volume down a little bit. So anyway, I think you guys heard about this news story or not. But supposedly this one's coming in from the U.S. Army Times, so U.S. Army, so it's army.mil/article, blah, 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 their whole thing. This friggin' guy, just give me 1 second here, is a pure and simple, complete and total badass. Why is he a complete and total badass? Well, because he went again through boot camp. He was a Marine when he joined up when he was younger, and he went back in and rejoined later on in the Army and went through boot camp, finished boot camp, and they almost killed me when I was 18, but finished boot camp and is now a serving Army soldier at the age of 59. Semper Fi, sir. I salute you. 59-year-old Marine and Army Reserves veteran Staff Sergeant Monty Gould graduated from basic combat training with the 1st Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment, August 27, making him the oldest individual to complete this version of BCT. He's not the oldest to complete BCT ever. In 1999, a 68-year-old entered basic training. Not only did Gould complete BCT, but he finished in the top 10% of his training cycle. Gould's unit cadre said his, quote, candor, leadership experience, and technical proficiency are unmatched. When comparing his experience versus his experience in the Marine Corps boot camp in 1978, Gould said his experience was different than he expected. Quote, just completely different, he said. 1, when I was in the Marines, this is the Army. And 2, this is 43 years later. The context is this. It's like taking a guy back in Marine Corps boot camp in 1944 and putting him back in boot camp in 1986. When his fellow trainees, most of them around 40 years his junior, would ask if it was hard at his time, he said, absolutely not. I could not physically do now what I did then. He said, after the first 2 weeks, I said to myself, this isn't going to be hard. And anytime it did get a bit hard, I said, dude, what are you whining about? You've been through way worse than this. While BCT may have been easier than expected, Gould does think BCT was well organized and thought out. Quote, it was better planned, better choreographed, better executed than it wasn't just PT until you die kind of a thing. You didn't PT until exhaustion. You'd PT'd with a purpose, and you physically trained to the point where your body developed and your muscles had time to heal. I can tell you that's exactly what they used to do to us back in the Marine Corps when I was in, is you would train to the point of exhaustion and then some more. When I was in the Marine Corps, we ran in boots and utility pants and T-shirts. We weren't authorized tennis shoes. We ran in those pants pointing to the uniform pants and a pair of boots just without the coat. Gould was already in great physical condition upon entering BCT in June, but he said his age did catch up with him. It was the first time in his entire career that I've ever been to sick call, And I've been to sick call 4 or 5 times. We were on my knees because they would swell up with the squats. Because they do all these squats with sandbags, so my knees swelled up, the tendons swelled up because they're not used to that kind of exercise. It got really hard to walk, and the running and rucking and everything else. The deadlifts didn't bother me at all, but all the amount of squats we do consistently and constantly was really rough on my joints, and it's a matter of being rough on it initially and my body getting used to it. According to Gold, physical correctness is the biggest difference between Marine Corps boot camp in 1978 and Army BCT in 2020. There's a lot of limitations of what you can and can't say here. Things you can and can't do, he says. There's basically no limitations when I went through boot camp. It was very hands-on. In other words, they could touch you, they could move you. There was no regulations or corrective training for punishments. You could do 50, 60, 100 repetitions of an exercise. Now it's limited to 10, and you can only do 2 different exercises with a limit of 10 per infraction. In my day, when you went through absolute muscle failure, that's the way it was, but it was effective. Prior to BCT, Gould hoped he'd be able to serve as a mentor and role model to younger trainees in a training cycle. A lot of kids were very receptive of it. Some of them were not receptive, and that's a personal thing. But I was able to influence the kids a lot and do the training I could do with them at different points and influence them. He said, but more than that, I think a lot of kids were kind of awestruck and gobsmacked that I was doing this because to them, I mean, when I was 17, a 59-year-old man, that's an old man. I think these kids had that as an influence, and they're like, oh my God, this guy's 59, and then I'm doing PT and doing everything with them. You know, the road marches, doing everything that they're doing. The advice you offer new recruits about to enter BCT is to prepare, do physical exercise, take a lot of calcium, and the easiest part of BCT is just following the rules. So basically, we said, that's basically basic training. I mean, you're pretty much just kind of following along, doing their stuff, grind, knock it out, and just be done with it. Fred Hart. Okay. Actually, Fred, there is some sound guy. He's there. Okay. Patriot Fever. Oh, look, an assault duck hunt gun with unlimited capacity needs to be banned. Wow. Okay, Disney. Oh man, Disney. Disney just can't catch a break. Why? Because they keep doing stupid stuff. They just keep doing stupid stuff. I mean, really, really stupid stuff. I mean, how bad does it get? Well. Hang on a second. Me find what I'm looking for here. Come on. Where is it? Where is it? I'll find it, sound guy. Don't worry about it. Oh, here we go. I gotta have the appropriate sound effects going on here for Disney. Yeah, Disney music. Disney suffers another woke disaster. Their massive quote-unquote hit is hurtling towards a huge loss. The Disney company used to be family-friendly alternative to immoral trash produced in Hollywood. In recent years, the company's quote-unquote gone woke, revealed by the progressive far-left agenda for movie, TV shows, and theme parks. And Americans are no way pleased. The streaming service reportedly lost $1 billion in recent years. The company had to fire CEO and bring back Bob Iger, who is really not that much better. So now the summer blockbuster, The Little Mermaid, could be a complete and total disaster. They say it cost $250 to make and a $140 million global marketing spend. The Little Mermaid could very well break even. However, anything below $400 million, a global threshold, and this fish is apt to be sinking at a loss of around $20 million. So that's very bad news for Disney. Reports suggest the work we make will cost $400 million worldwide, which means the movie, even though it costs that much to make and market, will only break even. Now, the thing about it is, if you break even making a movie, you made no money. Because the thing about it is say the movie cost $200 million. Say the marketing cost $140 million. Oh, well, I'm going to make $60 million. No, because there's also secondary stuff that happens after a fact. There's, secondary gross expenditures, net expenditures, all these other things. And the stuff that happens afterwards means if they make $10, $20 million, that's nothing. $20 million to Disney is like, what? The park's electric bill for a while, but not that much. Yipes. So them remaking a movie does absolutely nothing for them financially, except it's paperwork. Yipes. Elon Musk, that guy's on fire. I really, truly like, a lot of the stuff he's saying. This one coming in from Patriot Journal, so pjsnewsletter.com. After Target gets staggering news, Elon Musk makes a serious woke prediction. And what he said is, hang on a second here. JP Morgan downgraded Target stock after a losing streak of 23 years, citing too many concerns rising. Let's see, what the heck did Musk say? Okay, JP Morgan just downgraded Target stock after its longest losing streak in 23 years, citing too many concerns rising. Elon Musk said, won't be long before there's class action lawsuits by shareholders against the company and board of directors for destruction of shareholder value. So I wonder when this is going to happen also to Disney, because both these kind of intertwined. Budweiser and, Anheuser-Busch InBev, they could wind up getting sued too, because this whole woke agenda stuff really, truly is not popular. Got another one for you. This one coming out on truthpress.com. Oh, my stars and garters. It just gets better and better here. These guys, they get snarky, they do this stuff, and there's no other way to say it, but they kind of do it to themselves.
I say we take off and nuke the entire from orbit.
They do nuke the entire no-no zone from orbit. Coming in under the wire, as it were. Oh man, I cannot do this one justice, but Chuck Todd, good old Chuck Todd. Chuck Todd. F Chuck Todd. Chuck Todd. NBC News. Chuck Todd announced he's stepping down as the host of Sunday's Meet the Press. He announced this on June 4. I think Todd has something else going on there that they really haven't really been completely honest about, is the fact that nobody really watches Meet the Depressed. So it could be said what's happening to Chuck Todd is he's going by Chuckles. Yeah, I've heard him referred to as F Chuck Todd.
He's dead, Jim.
All right. Replacing him will be Kirsten Welker, who notably hosted the final 2020 debate between former President Donald Trump and then Democrat nominee Joe Biden. Quote, it's been an amazing, nearly decade-long run, F. Chuck says. I'm really proud of what my team and I have built over the last decade. I've loved so much of this job helping to explain America to Washington and Washington to America. Chuck. Imagine, if you will, a liberal on a news program, making absolutely no sense to other liberals. But he insists he's in charge of things. Welcome to the No-No Zone.
Uh-oh.
F. Chuck, I think, really...
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Yeah, pretty much. Wow. Man, that's that's one of those news stories that kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Even just to hear Meet the Depressed and F. Chuck. Yuck. Just yuck. Excuse me, folks. Now, this one I think is very kind of illustratively interesting and wishing for stuff, but I don't think it's actually going to happen. No. Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey on Sunday officially endorsed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for president, saying he was the best Democrat candidate and had the shot of beating Republican rivals Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump. No. No. I tend to think it's kind of interesting about RFK Jr. You look at his politics, and if he didn't do the stupid swing Democrat hard left on some items, he would almost come across like a libertarian. But, and I do mean but, folks. There is some times where he's pulling conspiracy theories out of his butt that it's like, dude, what are you even talking about? It gets very, very, very strange with him. Okay, I mean, he pulls just bizarre stuff. Okay, and that's the only way to describe him. He pulls bizarre stuff out of his butt. Dorsey, he's only notable for doing Twitter. Okay, he's not really like one of these guys that goes, "I'm politically minded and you should listen to me because my appreciation of things at large, I know how to." No. Patriot Fever. I nominate RFK for CIA director on irony alone. Wow. Well, I'll give you one thing, okay? RFK Jr., he's an honest guy. I mean, I'll definitely give him that. For a Democrat, he is kind of like, you guys do your thing over there, but I'm going to do my thing over here, and I'm going to be honest about it. That's one of the things that really, truly would fall in his favor. As for him running the CIA, well, who knows what the CIA is doing because they're basically, they don't talk about it, guys. And hipster Rasputin for Vegas alien ambassador. Dorsey. Oh, man. Wow. I did find this one very, very interesting. They keep going on in this country about, armed public is so dangerous and, guns are dangerous and you guys, this, that, and the other thing. It's so scary when you bring these things out because obviously, everybody's going to be running around and it's going to be like the old West all over again and da-da-da-da-da. The bad guys getting taken down by the good guys works nice. This one coming in from RepublicanDaily.com. Crime plunges in Haiti amid, quote unquote, brutal vigilante campaign. Sound guy. No, they're not running around with 44s, okay? No, they don't have 44 Magnums. Trust me. Let me try this again. A rise of vigilante justice in the impoverished island of Haiti has reportedly led to a dramatic reduction in the vicious crime violence that has plagued the island for years. And they're talking about gang violence, too. New York Times reported that the, quote, brutal vigilante campaign began in late April when a group of people, quote unquote, overpowered police in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, after they allegedly took 14 alleged gang members into custody. That's not all. The group of vigilantes took the suspects outside, doused them in gasoline, and burned them to death. Yeah, so it basically is not a good day to be those guys in Port-au-Prince. I don't think they have fire trucks that sound like that sound guy, okay? I don't. Since the 14 suspects were executed, the civilians have reportedly killed at least 160 additional gang members in the area, the report said. The report said the vigilante campaign had led to a, quote, sharp drop in kidnappings and killings attributed to gangs. Funny how that happens. You have the guy and, you basically catch the guy and the guy's like, I'm in trouble, aren't I? Yes, you are. Here comes the gasoline.
Oh, no!
Yeah, it's pretty easy to say that if you're going to be one of those guys, you are going to get,
Whoa! It's spicy!
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Okay, I think it's a little bit more than that. When those guys see the guy coming up with the gas can,
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
You think? People living in areas infested with gangs reportedly feared leaving their homes for a long time and often face extortion. In a less than 10-day span last summer, nearly 500 people were murdered in the city, leaving many afraid to even go out and buy food. Quote, before the 24th, every day somebody passed by and demanded I give them money because of my little business, one resident told the newspaper. When I had no money, they took whatever they wanted from my table. This happened at any time of day. Burning gang members alive appears to be one of the vigilantes' preferred methods of dealing with the thugs. Quote, the reaction of the population after years of gangs imposing the law can be attributed to self-defense. Gideon Jean, the executive directors of CARDH, I don't know what that is. Gangs are supported by certain authorities, politicians, and business people at almost all levels of police force. Gangs have links with police officers. The police do not have the means to systematically and simultaneously confront the growing gangs. The gang problem exploded when Haitian President Jovenel Moïse was assassinated at his home 2 years ago. The result has been power vacuum and a country on the brink of a civil war. I think it's a really bad damn day to be a gang member in Haiti. Eesh. Yeah. Not good at all. Okay, I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not, but I don't know if you know this chick. But there's a performer by the name of Lizzo, and I do mean Lizzo, and she is big, and that's putting it nicely. She is big. This one coming in from DailyWire.com. Lizzo says she's quote okay, she's close to quote unquote quitting end quote music over comments about her body. Lizzo says she's considering quitting the music business because of negative comments about her body. Okay, you're a big chick. You made a big deal to say that, you're a big chick. Look at me, I'm a big chick. I'm a performer, I'm a big chick. You kept talking about it way more than anybody ever wished to see. And, quote, it's really starting to make me hate the world, Lizzo continued. And I stopped in the comments. I said I eat lots of fast food. I literally stopped eating fast food years ago. Okay, well, obviously you have a body type that's big, and that's what people tend to see first about you. So maybe that's why they're you're going there.
It could be said that people notice your appearance first off because you're a big girl. Your performance is something they see secondarily. So apparently, you being a big person and them seeing you as a big person is the first thing they see, and not your music career. Deal with it.
That's as much as I can say on that one. What's this one here? Oh, no. Okay, that's something else. Oh, this one I really, really, really wanted to talk about. Mostly because I really have never particularly liked this guy to begin with. Little G, also known as Garth Brooks, calls Bud Light boycotters a-holes following transgender Dylan Mulvaney controversy. Look, you want to be country moron, and you're not. You're about as country as freezer section grits and gravy. No. Country music superstar Garth Brooks has no tolerance for Bud Light boycotters, calling them a-holes and promising he will serve the beer brand in his new Nashville bar. Fans have been revolting against Brooks, some saying they will no longer listen to his music. I never listened to his music to begin with. I always thought it was like the most kind of just corporate crap that anybody could ever generate and call it quote-unquote country. In a recent interview, Garth Brooks insulted millions of beer drinkers who are fed up with the transgender agenda being forced on them. The singer said his bar, called Friends in Low Places in Honky Tonk, will not be removing Bud Light from the menu. Yes, I'm going to serve every brand of beer. We just are. It's not our decision to make, he reportedly said during a Q&A session during Billboard's Country Live in Conversation. Quote, if you're coming into this house, love one another. If you're an a-hole, there are plenty of other places on Lower Broadway. Lower Broadway. Where? Okay, I now got to find out where this place is. Friends in Low Places and Honky Tonk. He said Broadway. Friends in Low Places and Honky Tonk. Okay, for some reason it didn't transfer over. Let me just do this real fast. Friends in Low Places bar. It's in Nashville, Tennessee. It's got 4 stars with 4 ratings. I guarantee you his Yelp ratings are going to fall through the floor. Yes, we're going to serve a brand of beer, which is ours, not our decision to make. Quote, he continued, in my existence, one a-hole can turn the whole tide down there. My thing is, let's create a place that you feel safe in. Well, shouldn't you be doing Rainbow Warrior stuff then if you're so inclusive? Fred Hart in the room. I didn't know Garth was still alive. And I love the rehash that they do in the article here. Brooks's comments come as Bud Light sales continue to plummet after the Anheuser-Busch brand teamed up with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney to promote the beer. As Breitbart News reported, Bud sales plunged 24.6% in 6 weeks following the Mulvaney controversy. Mulvaney is a biological male who runs around in garish caricature of a teenage girl. He recently celebrated his 365 days of girlhood, an event marking his first year as a quote-unquote female. Well, Garth Brooks fans have been revolting against the singer for his a-hole comment. Oh, jeez. Okay, this guy, I cannot begin to tell you how good this one is. It is a Twitter comment, but man, dude is on fire. At Remasculate, all one word. Steve Mudflap McGrews, the Remasculate podcast. I bet Garth Brooks secretly wears crotchless rainbow underwear. Wow. Shotgun Bonnie. Garth Brooks is opening a bar in Nashville called Friends in Low Places. The Honky Tonk said it will probably sell Bud Light there, telling anyone who doesn't like it they're a-hole and they can go somewhere else. Well, he's right. Go to Kid Rock's bar instead. Kid Rock's Big Honky Tonk and Rock and Roll Steakhouse. I want to go there. That's where knowing the way that Kid Rock rolls, I bet the food there is freaking epic. That's where I would go. Rosaria Nikita Marie at Garth Brooks. If you want to sell Bud Light, sell it. Why alienate people? You're standing up against the grooming of children. If people want to be trans, be trans. Wanting people to stop cramming it down our throats doesn't make us a-holes, but your government sure makes you one. But your statement still makes you one. Wow. Oh, no. Lady Tigress at Lady Constance 8. This is what happens when you turn into an old F, with the at sign for an A, old fat, Fakaka Duty, who's not aging well, is quite irrelevant. Is quite a relevant one at Garth Brooks. Cat making music. Clawing on stuff. Garth Brooks insists a new bar is selling red beer amid Bud Light controversy. Friends in Low Places, Garth Brooks says, if you're an a-hole, find other places. Hope his bar goes out of business. I'm sure that there's way more tweets that are way, way, way down in line on that one. But I was never a fan of his. I shall not be a fan of his. And him doing this whole picking sides, dude, the best thing you can do with any of this stuff is pretty much just shut up. Don't make a statement either way. Just simply do your thing, especially if you're opening a bar that you're hoping are going to be getting anybody in there. Because when you go, when you go full San Fran, Yeah, there's only one thing to do when you go full San Fran, and that's vomit. This one is very, very, very interesting. Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. Is also Patriot Free versus that Garth Brooks probably released some. I think that's what he's pertaining to. Garth Brooks will release another album in Walmart. He did that anyway. You know, he released his affordable record collection, you know, at Walmart. They still are not that cheap. I think they were like $50 or something. I mean, it's like he was re-releasing all of his stuff in one fell swoop. Okay, great, but you know, I'm sorry, it's not really saying all that much that you could just get more of the same. Yeah. Now, this one I think is exceedingly interesting. This one coming in from judicialwatch.com or judicialwatch.org. There's a decade-old legal case that could exonerate former President Donald John Trump, but it's been buried by the legacy media. So what's going on here? And I'm just going to scroll down and hopefully get it to work. Sometimes there's like a lot of pop-up stuff. It gets really obnoxious. I hate these pop-ups. Way too much crap. Let's see. Special counsel investigating the 45th president handling classified documents in supporting White House. There's a person. Special counsel Jack Smith is terrified the only standing legal case decision from a court concerning the Presidential Records Act, says Chris Farrell, director of investigations at Judicial Watch. The case Farrell's referring to is titled Judicial Watch at National Archives and Record Administration, also known as the Clinton Sock Drawer, a case. Former Bill Clinton created White House audio tapes with historian Taylor Brunch and stored them in a sock drawer. Judicial Watch sued to obtain access to the tapes and lost. He took them from the White House with him in his private life. There's classified material on his tapes that arguably is a sort of running stream of consciousness record of Bill Clinton's presidency. Pretty important stuff. So the judge, Amy Berman Jackson, presided on the case, said a couple of important things. Quote, that the president has absolute, unreviewable right to take any records or documents he wants when he leaves office, end quote. And further quote, no one can come back and second guess or double think or ask questions about what the president elects to take with him, Farrell continued. Farrell points out the ruling has been existing without challenge or question for 10 years, quote, and that has been standing law unchallenged for the United States for something like 10 or 11 years, said Farrell. No one has challenged it. Unreviewable, absolute authority to take whatever the president wants, and no one can second guess it. Trump claimed Smith's investigation of documents is all about election interference. It's all about election interference, Trump said on Twitter Social. They don't want to run against me. I ran twice. I did much better the second time, getting billions and billions more votes the first time, a record for a sitting president, and I'm leading Biden in the polls by a lot. They are party of this information. They're using the DOJ and the FBI against me to rig the 2024 election. They hit Hunter with something small to make it look like a strike on me to look fair. Nothing about the fascist or fair or honest fight. So Farrell claims this is the classified document investigation is yet another example of double standards exists within the U.S. justice system. Quote, that's the legal standard, Farrell said. It's okay for Bill Clinton, but when you apply the same standard to Donald Trump, suddenly everybody develops amnesia. Nobody knows what you're talking about. Trump's defense regarding the conduct has been consistent with his legal precedent. Quote, I have the absolute right to do whatever I want with them, end quote, Trump told CNN in his town hall in May 2023. Folks, that's it, nuts and bolts right there. If it works for Clinton as a former president, or works for Donald Trump as a former president, it's case law that's now been adjudicated, locked in, there's precedent. They're going to lose this. I mean, there's no other way around it. They're just going to lose this. Oh no, Patriot Fever. Somebody got a search warrant for the Clinton sock drawer. Talk about a job for the intern. Oh man, I just wonder if it was the socks that, you know, like Lewinsky was using to wipe off her chin. Okay, Bill, let me just tidy up here and throw that in the sock drawer. It's the special sock drawer. Wow. Friggin' brutal. I think I got one more here coming up in about a 1 hour time period. So let me get one more in here and I'll basically blast off. This one is cool. And there's no other way to say it other than simply to say it is cool. Oh, no. Patriot favorite Hillary wants nothing to do with that stuff. Remember, she gets more, hang on a second. She gets more, me say this without saying this. She gets more than Bill does. Okay. That's been well stated. She gets way more than Bill does. Bill, I think, is dealing with her going, what, Hillary? I'm home in time for blah, blah, blah. What are you going to do? You're going to go out and get some... Yeah, okay. Anyway. So Ron DeSantis has now gotten a major, major feather in his cap. This one, PJ's newsletter. Yeah, this one is exceedingly as cool. DeSantis has just picked up a major victory, and this instantly boosts... Hang on a second here. Stupid pop-ups. Instantly boosts his 2024 chances. So, Republican primaries heating up. In coming months, there'll be debates, rallies, events, and you're going to have chances are to take dramatic turns to get closer to 2024. Many believe that Donald John Trump has a nomination in the bag, but it's clear the former president fears Ron DeSantis. Florida governor who has won re-election by a landslide, despite what the polls are suggesting. DeSantis is traveling across the country to win over Republicans, and he just scored the first of what could be several big wins. This is coming in from Just the News. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis received his first endorsement for a Republican presidential primary from a former governor with Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt. Quote, Governor DeSantis is a strong conservative and principled leader, and I am proud to endorse him for president, Stitt, a Republican, said Saturday before a crowd in Oklahoma at an event with DeSantis. Wow. I mean, that's, Oklahoma is very, 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 very conservative. And that's putting it lightly. It is a very, very conservative state. And that's not even putting it mildly. So to get somebody like that to pop up and say, hey, you could be the guy that I really, really want to see doing XYZ and all the rest of that fun stuff, that's a good feather in his cap, man. And that's the first one we've seen. So what does that mean? Well, it means essentially that, potentially, we have other people coming out of the woodwork saying this is good. Fred Hardenroom says, nope, Trump 2024, don't trust Ron. Well, there's nothing that Ron DeSantis has done, Fred, that really makes me think that he's not a good and viable potential guy. Also, he doesn't have the baggage. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing going on right now. Patriot Fever Room says he needs more vetting against Trump to be a known quantity. Well, that's true, too. But he also says and does the things he's going to do. So both those guys do that. They say what they say, and they mean what they say, and they do it. All right? So I'm going to break up with this one, folks. Equal Center is always, you know what, you love it. Those guys in the room, you get a gold star for attendance. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know you got many things to do on a Tuesday, but you decided to hang out with me, and I truly appreciate the kind of attention. So I'm going to break up with this one. Equal Center is always, you know what, you love it. Good stuff like that there. I will see you guys next time, and thank you so much for hanging out. Also, in a review, you got my video right here on my channel. See you guys later. Have a good one. Get you guys.